Greetings, beautiful beings. I hope you all are drinking water and taking care of yourself. We will get started in a few minutes. Can you all hear me okay? If you are watching this, it would be cool to know that you can hear it. If you can just put it in the chat and let me know that you all can hear what's going on, that would be beautiful. Um, yeah, and so we'll get started in 2 minutes. Well, yeah, 2 minutes. Thank y'all for being here, for deciding to watch. I would play music, but the internet and music, so can't really do that because they be tripping. So we just have to be silent until we start, yeah? All right, so I am Fatima. I'm the co-birther of Love and Healing Work. I guide some of the spaces, and we're so glad you are here. Hopefully, you all can hear. If you can hear, that's amazing. If not, please let me know in the chat, and we'll absolutely get to it. So, before we get started, I would love to open up with some grounding and some breathing. You are invited to do this with me. I invite you to check in with your body first and see if your body, mind, spirit feels okay with listening to me and doing these grounding practices. I invite you to do this because it is a practice, right, of being in consent with self. So if you are in consensual relationship with self, then the first step, or not even step, the one of the ways of opening up this process of being on this journey is allowing ourselves to ask ourselves questions and then engage. So I'm inviting you to practice this by asking yourself, would it be okay to engage in this grounding and breathing practice with me today? And if your body says yes, then I invite you to ask it to participate in this moment fully. So I'm inviting you to be here and now, to allow yourself to be fully present, to be in your body in a way that allows you to feel where you are. Allow yourself to listen and know that you are breathing, not just because you are, but you are in tuned. I invite you to just be present with your body. I'm not asking you to do anything yet, but just be. Allowing yourself to just check in. Hey, body, how you? What does that be like? What does that feel like if you just asked yourself, allowed yourself to be present in that way? Now I'm going to invite you, if it feels good in your body, to notice your spine. And if you can invite your spine to just be erect and, to move in a space that allows your shoulders to open and pull down away from your ears, your head to act as if there's a book on top, and you are just fully engaged with your entire self. Then I invite you to, if your feet feel like it, to place both of your feet on the ground into the earth. And then bringing your hands to your lap or to your heart, to your stomach and to your belly, but just on your body that feels comfortable to you. Sometimes we just don't give ourselves our own energy. And so I'm inviting you to consensually give yourself the energy of you by placing your hand on your heart or your stomach consensually. Beautiful. I like to place one hand on my heart and one like on my sacral chakra. It's where I like to jam because my energy likes to go. Okay, so now that you're fully present and you're aware of your body, where you're on, what you're sitting on, if you're standing, you're here and you're now. I'm going to invite us to take 3 deep breaths together. Inhaling in through our nose, expanding our bellies and pushing them out away from our bodies. And then exhaling and contracting. So inhale, expand, exhale, contract. And I'm going to invite you to exhale out of your mouth. And as you're exhaling, I'm just inviting you to notice. And then can you inhale gratitude and exhale gratitude? That's it. Inhale gratitude, exhale gratitude. Receive and give. Because we have so much to be grateful for. And so on the count of 3, I'm going to invite us to take 3 deep breaths together. Being into our bodies, bringing in gratitude and releasing gratitude. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to invite you to just come back to your breath regularly. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming into your body. Allowing yourself to feel the body. To know that the body is what it is. You're the body. Just allowing that to be it. That works for you. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm going to invite you all to come back and be here and now with me. Thank you for engaging and allowing yourself to just be here and present and with me in this moment. It's pretty cool. All right. So our last time together, it really, let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, everybody didn't get access to the information because maybe the video didn't work. And because of that, everybody didn't get to see the things and do the things. And I get that. So, and the things being, what does it mean to be in consensual relationship with self? And then allowing that to be defined in a clearer way, right? So we didn't really get to, for those people who wasn't able to see it or what have you, I would really like to review it if that aligns for you. And so I'm going to review what we went through and then kind of talk to you all about some new things. And so that's going to look a little different than before. So how are we going to do this? Well, this is going to be great. how we're going to do it is we are going to first discuss the what is consent in this way, because a lot of times we talk about consent from a sexual perspective. We are talking about consent from engaging with other people, but we're talking about consent from this love and healing work of self. And when we do our love and healing work, and loving healing work is an affirmation, a mantra, it's also business. It's a way of being. When we put time and energy into learning what it is to love ourselves, what it means to heal ourselves, then it automatically happens with those that are in our lives. So when thinking about consent, being in consent with self mitigates harm. When we ask ourselves what we need, how we need it, the way we need it, then what ends up happening is we answer it. And if we allow ourselves to answer it, then provide ourselves with the thing, we're in consensual relationship. So, for example, we live in a society that says be hungry, um, be tired, be dehydrated for the sake of a paycheck, for the sake of helping someone, for the sake of raising someone's children, for the sake of etc., etc., etc. Right? What about you? Who takes care of you? Who's going to love you and feed you and heal you if you don't? We've been conditioned to believe that we can give other people what we don't give ourselves, but how? How do you give someone something you don't have? If I am hungry and tired and dehydrated, then my will to see things in this way that is of abundance it's hard to be optimistic and to know that anything is possible when I'm tired and all my body wants to do is sleep. It's hard to be innovative and think about how everybody can win and how everybody that's a rawism is being able to be present with oneself, and consent allows one to do that. But if I'm tired and dehydrated and hungry, how can I possibly provide you with any type of foundation that will allow you to build on it if I am not full enough to do so? I can't, I won't. Our society says that if we dare to listen to what we need, then we won't be able to eat. We won't be able to have a home. We won't be able to have the things that we desire. If we choose to make the space to heal ourselves, to love ourselves, then that means that something else can't happen or probably won't happen. You know that something else is usually the thing that benefits somebody that we've never met, um, and or and there's probably some several other things, and or it benefits somebody else that isn't us. But either way, we're the ones suffering. So when we're talking about being in consent, it's all about self first. Do I want to do this? Can I do this? Do I have the capacity to do this? Do I care about this? These are all consensual questions. These are questions that it is okay to ask oneself. It is so okay to ask oneself these questions, because ask oneself these questions means that you're not going to place yourself in harm. And, to know what situations and experiences are harmful to self is very important, because hurt people hurt people. So if if we're putting ourselves in spaces to be harmed, then we're more than likely gonna harm someone else, because we're the one being hurt too. And we're the someone else. Like, we're people, right? So the consensual relationship mitigates harm, not just for other people, because again, we've been conditioned to think about other people first. Consensual relationship mitigates harm to ourselves. How many times has Yourself told you to sit down, to lay down, that it needs rest, and you were out in these streets doing whatever you wanted, and then got sick. You ever done it? Like your body literally make you sick? And not because of anything, but you didn't listen to it when it said it was tired. How many? I know a lot of people who've gotten the flu and COVID and all of these things, and they're really healthy people, and they got it because all they were doing is running around. They were running around, they weren't resting, their bodies were like, please stop, no, don't, and they kept doing it. And then the body breaks down and people are like, oh my goodness, what is happening? I can't move, I can't eat, I can't do these things. You can't, because your body had already told you, stop, don't know. The body has said, I cannot do this anymore. And what we do is we go, well, body, I don't care what you said you can't do. I have things I need you to do, and I'm going to do it. And then we end up doing all of these things. For what? To be laid up in the bed? To not be able to like move or do things? And then it's like, oh, but we made our deadline. Does the deadline even matter if you can't enjoy the reaps of it? That's not the right way to say that. Can you enjoy the bountifulness? There you go. Of the thing that has come if you are laid up in the bed because you ran yourself into the ground? I started asking people, were they drinking water and taking care of themselves, so that I could remember to drink water and take care of myself. It became a reminder for me just as much as it became a reminder for everyone else. So if I'm asking you, are you drinking water and taking care of yourself? You best believe I'm doing the same thing. If I'm not, then I just reminded myself to do it because I asked. So the question helps me help you help me. Most times we don't ask ourselves questions. And then we end up harming ourselves and harming other people unconsciously because we don't even know that we're harmed. Because we're on this conveyor belt of get things done, produce. We are bound not just by our fears, but our shame and our guilt. We don't move if we're feeling guilty and shameful. And honestly, growth is there. And we can engage with the things that make us feel shame and guilt and fear consensually. Consensually engaging with our emotions is a thing. It's a part of consensually engaging with self. Now, what does this look like? Okay, so you ever feel sad? Like sad? Have you ever allowed yourself to feel the sadness? Not drink it away, drug it away, become really busy, really like do a lot of work, hang out, have a lot of sex. I mean, just allow your body to do whatever it is that it needs to do because it's sad. Sadness, a human emotion. Despair, sorrow, all human emotions. Grief, anger, all plausible human emotions. Fear, all of it. The thing about all of these emotions is that in society, we have been conditioned to not allow ourselves to feel them. And because we don't allow ourselves to feel them, we don't have the tools and the practices to feel them. So when they do come up, we allow them to do what they need to do. They come up, right? And we allow them to teach us, show us, be with us. Just like they arrived, they end. And then now we've made space for all these other amazing emotions because, hey, we allowed this one that's natural to do its work. It's like asking the sun not to shine or the clouds not to be in the sky. It's like how, as a human being, we have emotions. We can't just stay and float and gloat in the ones that feel really great because we can't even enjoy the ones that feel really great if we can't allow ourselves to consensually engage in the ones that aren't. Because aren't both choices? And guess what? We can consensually engage with our emotions like grief and have gratitude and joy. I can have sorrow. I've had despair, and still was able to hold happiness and peace consensually. Now it's like, all right, Fatima, like, how do you consensually engage with your emotions? Well, first you got to realize you have them. It's taking the time and energy and space to ask yourself, what is going on? How do I feel right now? And doing it in a space that is safe. And safe being mind, body, spirit. You look around and you're just like, all right, cool, I can process here. And not even if you can't process, you can, process, because it's not just in your mind and your body. You can integrate, you can experience the emotion in a space, where you don't feel judged, where you know that the people are rooting for you just as much as you're rooting for them, that there is a container. And sometimes you may do it in solitude. And that space should be safe too. You have what you need to flow through it. You have the things that make you feel and know that you are full while you go through this process. Being in consensual relationship with oneself is being in consensual relationship with how one thinks, how one feels, how one speaks, how one acts. It is a way of being. It is a practice. It is saying, how do I want to talk to myself today? Do I want to talk to myself compassionately and with kindness? How do I want to listen to myself today? Am I going to listen to myself compassionately and with kindness? Those things matter. Why? Because again, you can't give anything to anyone else if you haven't given it to yourself. Some of us out here talking real mean to ourselves, calling ourselves all these types of names and telling ourselves we're not good enough. That's not a consensual relationship with yourself. Yourself didn't ask you to do that, didn't tell you to tell them that they weren't good enough. Didn't do that. Society and all these other things came in and said that you should be able to say that about oneself. But if one really asked oneself, what do you need? What do you want? And sat and listened, it would have nothing to do with what the world said it should. So being in consensual relationship with our thoughts don't run us. Our mind is a part of us. We can choose how we move through our thoughts. All of our thoughts begin and they end, because all things that begin end, that is a universal truth. We all know that. This truth can be applied to any and everything, how we think, how we feel, what we do. We may have said this thing that caused this reaction. That reaction will end. Now, we do have to take responsibility for it, how our actions impacted others. Again, if we're not in consensual relationship, then we're out here harming ourselves and other people and not knowing. And I do it too, right? Sometimes I inject myself in to help people that never asked me for help. I'm working on it. I've been working on that this year, actually. I have allowed myself to not always engage with other people consensually because it's easy to forget. It's not in our society. We don't live in a consensual society. Most people I know are tired, physically tired. emotionally tired because they're engaging in experiences that are draining and don't have any space to refuel because where and how and society says. When we are in consensual relationship with ourselves, then what society says doesn't matter. It's what you say that matters. What you say about what you do is all that matters. You are the creator, sovereign being of you. All of your being is run by you. We all have choices, and the choices to place you as the sun in your world because you are the sun. Be the sun in consent and ask yourself, do I feel like doing this? Do I have the capacity to engage with these group of people today? A lot of times it'd be no. And we out here doing it anyway. I have, again, because I can only talk about myself, I have actively had to learn to listen to myself. So I may RSVP for an experience. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. I want to go. Yeah. So excited. And then the day comes and I check in my body. And my body's like, listen, fam, you did this, and this week. And then you made us walk to and back from the store. And then you did this. No. If when my body says no, and I don't want it to say no because it goes against what I want, what I think I want, right? I don't be wanting to listen. Who wants to listen to the body that's telling them not to do a thing that they don't want to do? Me? Because if I don't listen to my body, then my body makes me listen to it. Again, going back to that whole being sick thing, laying down, not being able to move, not being able to enjoy the fruits of the labor because I didn't listen to my body. Yeah, I've done that plenty of times, and I decided it was not okay. But in a lot of grassroots practices, experiences, organizations, burnout is the culture. Advocacy, if you want to be in a, 500 company, what's those things? Companies with the 500, y'all know what I'm talking about. The 500 club, the companies that are a lot. Most of them CEOs don't rest. A lot of people don't rest, relax. A lot of people that are managing and or taking care of other people are so concerned about what they're managing and or the other people that they're not concerned with themselves. They usually pay somebody else to be concerned with them because they don't have the time to concern themselves with themselves because they are showing up for other people. That don't make no sense. I mean, think about it. We live in a world that says we're supposed to think about what the world wants us to be, say, and do before we think about what we want to say, think, and or do. What? We put societal norms before consenting with ourselves. So in the holiday season, we're around family or people that we love, and most times, some of those people don't follow our boundaries, the things that we've learned to move through the world with. And so our consent goes right out the window with ourselves and with other people. This is just a practice of saying, what do I want? How do I want it? Do I still want it today the same as I did yesterday or the time that I thought about this thing? And that's starting with self first. And I'm not going to lie. Being in a consensual relationship with self is hard. It means saying no to people. It means saying, I don't want to. It's admitting when you don't care. It's like, it's not a popular opinion, actually, to be like, no, I checked in with myself and I don't have the capacity to do that. But thank you. I mean, think about how many times you showed up to a place just because you said you would, not because you wanted to. I'm going to say that again. I invite you to think about all the times you showed up to a place because you said that you would, not because you wanted to. And yes, you may end up having a good time, but that's not what you wanted to do. You wanted to stay at the house with your comfy socks on your comfy bed, chilling with some tea, listening to some music, whatever it was. It involved you being at home and not out. But because you said that you would, you do it. And then now you're tired, you're drainy, you're cranky. And then you try not to be all those things because you made the decision to do the act of going out. You see the circle? But it doesn't mean that you're not angry and mean and cranky. It doesn't mean that you don't lash out on somebody. It doesn't mean that somebody doesn't bear the weight of you not listening to yourself. Because that's what it is. When we don't listen to ourselves, then we take it out on the world. It's like the world's problem that you decided not to take a nap or stay at home today. And we can say, yeah, if I didn't go to work, then this will happen and then this will happen. Yeah. But we keep on condoning a society where that's cool. We keep on imagining a world where we have to do things that we don't want to do. Where I would like for us to imagine a world where everyone can be in consensual relationship with themselves, with their thoughts, with their feelings, with their body, every day, all day, and don't have to come out of consent just for a paycheck. Because that's usually when we come out of a consent with ourselves, is to make some money. I've not done this. My bank account right now shows that, and that's fine. We're working on it. But I don't believe in being out of consensual relationship with myself because I have to go to sleep with me at night. I have to look myself in the mirror every single day. I have to do that. I actually have to be with me. And if I can't stand me, then I like to stand me. So to be in my own company means that I must be in consensual relationship with myself. And the practice of that allows me to see where I have caused harm because I didn't allow myself to be in consensual relationship with others. And I had to go on an apology tour, like a real one. Being in consent with self lays the foundation for that, when we talk about self-love and self-care. You can't do none of those things if you don't know what yourself needs and then give it to yourself. How do you care for yourself when you haven't checked in? How do you love on yourself when you don't even know how love manifests in your body and how your body wants to receive love and give love? You don't know that if you haven't asked yourself these questions or some sort of questions that give you the answers to these questions. And most of us don't take the time to because there's always something to do. Always. I invite you to put you first and be the something to do. What happens if you pause? In the morning before you go in to do whatever your day looks like, what happens if you just take like a 15-minute pause and say, what do you want your day to look like today? How do I want to feel today? How am I going to speak to people being self first and others? And then answer. I would like my day to flow with ease, for me to complete the things that I need to get done today. I would like to laugh and dance and have fun today. I would like to talk to people I love today. And I would like to be outside in the sun. And I want to talk to myself kindly. And talking to myself kindly means acknowledging that I'm amazing even when I do things that may not be. We can do this in the morning, 15 minutes. How do you want to talk to yourself? Ask yourself. And then ask yourself, how do you want people to talk to you? Well, I want people to talk to me like I'm a person. I want them to acknowledge me. I want them to address me. I want them to engage with me and my human experience and not just what I produce. And I want them to laugh with me and to smile with me and engage. Speak out what you want after asking yourself what it is that you want your day to be in the morning, and at night you can ask yourself again, was our day the way that we wanted it to be? Do I need to stretch my body? Does my body need anything before I go to sleep? These are all ways of practicing and being in consent, because half the time some of us, our mouth be like, hey, can you brush me before we go to sleep? And we go to sleep with our mouths dirty. After our mouth done said, hey, you done ate all of this stuff today. You had some coffee, you done smoked something, you had like some onions and some garlic. Can you please brush your teeth? And you know what we'll do? Go to sleep. And then our teeth end up being jacked up. And we got thousands of dollars of dentist bills. And we're so confused because our teeth, we take care of them, but we don't listen to them. Same with our bodies. Same with our minds, right? Some of us work on projects and do different things, and our minds are like, okay, I need a break. I need to stop. Please stop. And we'll keep going. I use this term, we emotionally rape ourselves constantly. Because we know what we need and we ask for it, and we continuously don't give it to ourselves. And then wonder why our reality is what it is. Never do we think about it's us. And I'm inviting us to consider what it'd be like to ask ourselves at every step of the way, does this still work? Do you still want to do this? Do we have the capacity to do this? And honor it. And honor that if you honor it, then it will be as it shall be. But a lot of times we force things, and the forcing things again causes harm because you're just going to push through. I can do it. And you're miserable. So I invite you to think about this. Not just in this season, but every season. What do I want? What do I need? What does my body need? What does my mind need? What kind of words do I utilize to receive what I need? What actions must I take to get what it is that I need? And then do it. Ask the questions. Answer the questions. Do it. Ask, answer, do. That's it. That's it. It's a practice. Every day. Ask yourself, maybe just one question a day. What do I want? Or how am I going to make today wonderful? How can I make today wonderful? How can I listen to my body? Or, hey, body, what do you need? And listen and just allow that to be the question, and that be what you give. Most times, people in positions of power don't take the time and energy to regroup, to fill their cup. And they miss things. I did when I was in leadership positions and I wasn't taking care of myself, I know I caused more harm than I didn't. My personal view, hindsight being 2020, I caused harm. I know I did a lot of great work, but I also caused harm because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't full. And because I wasn't full, I was harmful. And so I, as someone who's been on both sides, of someone who has been full and in leadership, and someone who has experienced being full in leadership, and then someone who has been a leader and not been full, right? And realizing what comes from that too. So this is the invitation of practicing consent in a way that mitigates harm to self. Because again, most of us care so much about other people, and other people are amazing. They're connected to us, they are part of us. And so if we're not well, they're not well. If we're not in a consensual relationship with ourselves, we're really not in a consensual relationship with them because they're a part of us. And that's a reality, one of many. So I invite you, going into this new year, this Gregorian New Year, right? Because I don't see why we're having a new year in winter, but that's another thing for another time. But as we go into this new year, and we're in this space of affirming our reality, I invite you to affirm your reality. Affirm what you desire. Affirm what you're calling in a way that allows you to be in consensual relationship with yourself and your journey and what you're trying to do and what you're doing in life. I invite you to be unapologetically in consent with yourself. Unapologetically check in with yourself every day to ask, is this what I should be doing? Hey, body, is this what you need right now? What do you need right now, body? And then listen and then give it to it. If your body needs water, give it water. If your body is saying, I am hungry, feed it. If your body is saying, we don't want to go there, don't go. Because when you can listen to you in this beautiful and amazing way, then others can listen to you and be in a consensual relationship with you because you're in consensual relationship with you. You can then be in a consensual relationship with others because you're in a consensual relationship with the self. And self is the first relationship outside of the ones that, guide us from being little humans. So I invite you to consider it and practice. And if you have any questions about consent, you can always, reach out to us at Connect at Love and Healing Work or on any other platforms of Love and Healing Work. We're here for you. We're here to help you be more in touch and engage with you. You matter. You deserve to be the center of the universe, your universe. You deserve to listen and give yourself everything you need. You deserve to have what your body, mind, and spirit is saying it needs to have. You deserve that. You do. And so I invite you to be the first one to give it to yourself consistently and habitually every single day. Please take this time to know that you are loved. Please drink water. Take care of yourself. Thank you all for being. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for considering what it's like to practice consent. And I look forward to sharing more time and space with you. Love.